So when we're starting to assemble pieces, and again, apologize for the mess. We just decided to do this on the spur of the moment. We weren't even going to video, we weren't going to document any of this, but now we are. So we'll have to start thinking about presentation a little bit. But for now, here's where we're at. We have our furnace, which is, I believe, a suburban furnace. One of the smaller units, because obviously we're not heating this large space. The space we're in is pretty small. So anyway, this is my 2-burner stove, which is going to be plenty for me, because that's all I really need. I can do everything else on the barbecue, and I need the space. Very important. This here is the unit that will control power to the batteries. Will allow me to plug into shore power and at the same time, regulate the charge to the battery. So maintain my batteries so they don't burn up too quick. And also this will, charge all the batteries, but also allow me to plug in and convert everything to 12 volt. So we have our water pump. We have our shower diverter, the knobs for the turn it on and off. We have our hand shower. And if you look down here, we have 2 mighty fine brand new Interstate deep cycle batteries ready for action. Brand new Honda 2200i generator. Great, pretty light, picks up easy, starts nice and quiet. I've decided to go ahead and reuse the sink. I cut it in half. It used to be twice as wide, but we're not going to need all that. We don't have the space for it with all the modern things we're going to be putting into this. Also, we have speakers here, which were given to me by a friend. Some of them I've already put in, but these are pretty modern speakers. So they should sound pretty good. And over here, we have our low boy toilet. A little dusty, but you get the idea. So hopefully we'll be able to put our legs into the basin that the shower pan and be comfortable at this height. We're going to try that. We're going to put the black water tank directly underneath it. So we're going to try to make everything as simple as possible. A few steps from here to there, so we can, keep everything simple as far as infrastructure goes. Very important. Also, this little gizmo. This is what will allow the alternator to charge all of the batteries, but yet not be drawn down. Basically the truck battery itself will not be drawn down by the appliances and everything else we're using. So it'll draw down our 2 batteries here when we're using the appliances, but it won't draw down our truck battery so that we can still start the vehicle when we need to. Because the last thing we want is to be stuck anywhere, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, so that's a good thing right there. Very handy. We have our lights for outside. These are our patio lights. Have a switch on these. So I'm going to put a master switch in to allow me to turn them all on or off from inside. And then when I have the master switch on, I can turn on individual lights, wherever I'm at. So we have that. That's good. Okay. Anyway, this is the refrigerator. The reason I picked it, I wanted to have one with the propane burning, maybe a 3-way refrigerator that worked on propane, 12 volt, 120 volt. That would have been ideal. But the size and the placement of these huge vents that I would have had to cut into the side of the van, I just didn't want to go there. So I decided to go with a 120, 12 volt combination. So you can plug it in, you can run it on shore power, you can run it on generator, and you can run it on 12 volt. So the reason I went with this particular unit, first of all, is a little bit cheaper. It's about $425, but it has separate compartments for freezing and refrigerator. Don't recall the brand name right now, but if you look for it, you'll see this particular model. And it's 1.7 cubic feet. And we've been working with our test burrito here, a Tina's green burrito. Okay, and what we've done is we've tried to figure out the right temperature that'll keep this frozen and what allow it to thaw, and what temperature, because it was on Celsius. We figured it out. Since then we've got it on Fahrenheit. But it's got lighting on the interior and it's got a removable basket. What's interesting about this model is that the larger compartment is actually the freezer compartment, which I was a little unsure about at first because you would think normally the larger compartment would need to be the refrigerator, but what it does is it actually freezes this compartment, and the ambient air cools this, and basically creates a refrigerator situation. Now, what I tested and what I found, the reason we have our test burrito in here is that we played with this so we make sure that this could also be used as a refrigerator. In other words, if I lower the temperature down, which is adjustable, I can get refrigerator temperature in the large compartment, which is good. I don't know how much usable this tiny little refrigerator compartment would be at that point. Maybe you just keep something in there that doesn't need to stay particularly cold. But you could bring this up to a refrigerator level temperature and it's going to be okay. So anyway, so this is the one I picked. These can become extremely expensive. This one was one of the lower priced ones, so hopefully it's reliable and hopefully it works well. Well, I guess we'll find out. That's why I'm kind of testing it in the house right now. I've got it plugged into 120 power. I haven't tried it on 12 volt yet, but I will, and I'll let everybody know how that goes. That's the refrigerator. I'm going to put that next to the sink, and it's going to be kind of partly in the doorway of the sliding door on the side. And I haven't decided if I'm going to face it towards the outside. Most likely I'm going to face it towards the inside, and that way I can still flip it open from the outside and grab a cold beer when I want to. So that's important. But yeah, we're going to try that out, see how it works. I don't have to cut any vents with it. It has its own vents, but I will be cutting some space for those in the cabinet. But basically, it's not, since it doesn't burn propane, it doesn't need to vent towards to the outside of the vehicle, which is good because the refrigerator vents, refrigerators that burn propane are very hungry for air constantly, and they need to circulate that air, so they need large vents, and I just didn't want to go there. So we're going to see how it works out. Eventually we get solar panels, so we'll see how that helps, and hopefully we can just run everything on solar panels on nice days. So anyway, I guess that's it for the refrigerator. It just kicked on right now. Yeah, seems to work really well so far. If you see over here, it has dual plug-ins, so you can plug it into the 12 volt, and you can plug it into the 120, and then, so I'm assuming, I haven't tried it yet, and the instructions are in Chinese broken English, so they don't really address this, but I'm thinking that hopefully that it automatically takes over. The 120 takes over when it's available, and then otherwise it will be running on the 12 volt. And it has this other setting here for emergency mode, I guess, when the controller here quits working and you need to keep your food cold. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, and hopefully we won't have to try it. So that's it.